It's me, UPB, OptionMillionaires.com. Thanks for joining me. It is May 21st, 2012. Thanks for joining me. We're going to have a recap of some options today. A lot of nice moves today in the market. And a lot of them covered here on OptionMillionaires.com. Thanks for joining me. Look at this market. We love it. It's an option trader's dream. A market that goes one direction. And if you're biased toward that direction, in this instance, the calls, what a great day for you. Could have pretty much bought any call, save JP Morgan and VXX calls. But aside from those and a handful of others, any stock you bought today or bought calls of, you were up. And if you bought the right one, you were up significantly. Like Apple. Apple, that was a stock we had early on, optionmillionaires.com. In the chat room, the 565 calls we brought out at 68 cents, posted in the chat room. They hit that 68 cents, didn't look back. Hit a high of 585, and that was right at the end of the day as Apple just kept going and going and going and gone. It was like Secretariat at the racetrack. Apple closed and just kept going, like it could have went another $20 in the span of a couple hours. Who knows? Either way, it was a great trade. There was a lot of people who traded it smart today as well, buying at the lows and selling throughout the session, where there was selling half of their contracts, selling a few here just to cover costs. Never hurts to sell, because that's what's been going on in the last couple of weeks, right? 3 weeks of sell, sell, sell. And today was an easy day. We like the easy days. We need a break. We need a break from those rips being sold, the dips being bought. We had the brief dip here on the S&P 500, the SPY ETF. And then we ripped. And this rip up to here is what you would normally be selling in the last 3 weeks. You would sell, as I've said before, sell and go home, leave. And I said, hey, if you really wanted to, you could buy puts. Well, you bought puts. The people who followed the pattern that we've seen the last 3 weeks, that is now broken, in my opinion, for now, until it gets reestablished, which is why I think we've marked a nice low here, at least temporarily. And temporarily, in my book, could be as soon as tomorrow. No, I don't know. I think today was a great day. I think we could definitely move higher from here. That's my opinion. Remains to be seen if STFR is gone. And if it is gone, for how long? I guess how long? Until it comes back. But the point I was getting at was we would buy the dip, sell the rip, and go home. And normally, the put buyers would be buying puts here, because that's what the pattern has been the last 3 weeks. Had they bought today, they would have been pretty happy. Pretty happy. And then about lunchtime, they'd be like, yeah! And then the stocks were starting to go up. They'd be like, ah, no way, impossible. Oh no, what's going on? Oh, whoa! And at the end of the day, they were just, whatever hair they had left in their heads, they were just pulling them out. Like, this can't be. No, something's wrong. So that was the market today. Let me go to a trade that I really like. Well, another thing I just wanted to point out real quick is some of the indicators that I like to look at. One of them, the very simplest ones, moving averages. Moving averages. Now, had you looked at Apple and its 100-day moving average, look at the bounce we had there today. Right? Look at that. Right off the 100-day moving average. So it always helps to have as many indicators, as much information as possible that you can take, utilize towards a potential trade. That's one to look at. That 100-day moving average acted as support. And it bounced to the tune of almost 6%. So it's something to keep an eye on. Apple, 100-day moving average. Apple, 100-day moving average. So don't say I don't teach anything. Let's move on to a trade that I brought up in my weekend outlook. I know many of you didn't get to see it because I had it hidden. It's in public view though. I did see a couple people took a glance at it, and I brought out brought up the 92.50 calls, which were at 48 cents. I think that's what they opened at today, and they didn't look back. They closed at $1.08. So it was a nice double. In it, I said, I think Cat's got a nice bounce coming. But I was a little wrong. I drew this line. I said about 86 and a half, something like that. And Caterpillar pretty much didn't even come close today. But I think we can see Caterpillar pushing higher for a couple more days. I look how far it's fallen. It double topped at 116 and change. And it's been just crumbling lower. Just pretty slow, steady decline. So what do I think for Caterpillar? Oh, I do think there's a chance it could go back to 100 and beyond. Call me nuts. It all depends on a lot of factors, especially China, the US dollar. The dollar is down today. It's down right now after hours. So that, you have John Deere, DE was up today as well. We could be seeing a rebound. We get the metals bouncing. So something to keep an eye on. I think those Caterpillar 9250s will work very nicely this week. They already are up over 100%. So if you're looking to get into them, might be a good idea just to like John Deere, to wait it out. I got into LVS. I made 2 trades today. That's it, 2. I got LVS, $48 calls. I got them for 35 cents. And LVS had a nice almost 4% push higher. Look at that. This is where I got them, right here. Woo! I was BTFDing. And up here, no, I wasn't STFRing. Not here either. And look, the moving averages, look how we stayed above them all day after the dip. Very simple. Oh, we did briefly touch below, but I was eating lunch, so I didn't even notice. Anyway, the LVS 48 calls, I bought at 35 cents. Closed at $1. If you bought 10 of them like I did, that's $350 cost plus commission. And that's a total paper value of $1,000. So that's $650 from $350. And who knows, LVS could go to 60 tomorrow. The sky's the limit, literally. You never know what could happen. It could also be downgraded and go to 0. So that's the risk you take. And the other trade I made was USO, Trax Oil. I bought the $35 calls for 35 cents. They closed at 49 cents. I'm going to hold this one all week. I think it's on like Donkey Kong for oil. It's fallen dramatically, and it's going to bounce, just like the dollar is going to fall. I mean, look at the room we have here. We have the gaps galore. More gaps than Michael Strahan. I mean, come on. I think it may be 36, 36.25. That would be nice. I'll take it. Take the money and run. And then I have one potential trade for tomorrow. More in my next video if I have one. Otherwise, I'll post them in the chat room tomorrow. IBM. IBM is looking good. And you see that little green line in the corner, right near the 195 mark? Let me pull back and show you what that trend line is from. That's a long-term trend line. Oh, I can extend it all the way back to, come on. Come on. All the way back here. Look at this. Look at that. I don't even know if I have it right on. Pretty close. But that's a trend line from the lows in 2008 for IBM in November 2008. And we came to that trend line and bounced. I think that's very bullish for the stock. Bullish means I'm buying calls. The IBM, that's the Caterpillar. Let's do IBM. The IBM 200s are cheap. 67 by 72. So you could get, for instance, say tomorrow, buy 5 of them at a bit of, put in a bid at 70 cents or so, depending on what happens, futures down, etc., or up. Cost you $3.50 if Apple goes to $202, which is see 98, 2.5, 3% move, which is possible. Could do that in one day. You'd be looking at a nice return. It'd be almost a triple. And I do think since we've hit a low here, let me zoom in a little closer because let's get a little more comfy. There we go. Look, see that? The green line there? I mean, it's right there. It bounced right off of it. Look at the moving averages all curling up here. Oh man, just like they did here, see? Except instead of being in a downtrend and continuing downward, we're starting an uptrend here. So yeah, IBM, money in the bank. That's what I think. We'll see if I'm right or wrong. By the end of the week, those are the weeklies. It's a high risk. If Apple goes to zero tomorrow, you've lost it all. Gone. They go bankrupt. It's not going to ever happen. All right, that's enough. So we had some great trades. Absolutely great trades. Apple being the creme de la creme. 68 cents to $5.85 in less than a whole trading day. It was all brought to you at Option Millionaires at optionmillionaires.com. I'll have another video tonight if you're lucky. Otherwise, take care. Goodbye.